Hi everyone, I thought I'd do this video just to demonstrate Sayu. She was one of my first pulled characters at the beginning of this year when I started playing, and she's coming up again on Raiden's next banner, which I think is going to be brilliant. But I've seen some controversial opinions about her character overall and her kit, and generally if you've got Jean is generally a better option. Pretty much, apart from the rolling around, they're pretty much the same sort of kit, and I would say, yeah, Jean for, say, the Abyss, for Spell of the Abyss is a lot better, but for the overworld, Sayu is just a lot of fun. And as I said, she was one of the first characters I pulled, so I kind of got used to her kit immediately, and probably one of the reasons why I actually got into the game and actually thoroughly enjoyed it. And I just wanted to show some tips. This isn't going to be the best built Sayu on YouTube or on Reddit or anything like that. It's just, this is what I've built and what I've enjoyed, and how she changed, how I've used it, because one of the reasons I ended up actually getting to Inazuma and rushing through the story quite early on was because I wanted to rank her up. And that's the unfortunate thing. If you are new to Genshin, and you're in the early game and you get one of, say, these Inazuma characters, I'm not too sure how the Sumeru characters fare. I think you can get to Sumeru, but anyway, that's a different topic. But yeah, it was kind of a bit of a hassle to get her materials that she needed to rank her above level 40. But anyway, that aside, because that is kind of an issue if you have pulled her as, like I did, as like your very first character in the game. Now, I initially had her, which I'll demonstrate, I had her actually with Jean's artifact set, and this is what worked for me for a very long time, and this is the exact set she had. I think early on in the game I used an instructor set, a full instructor's set, and it was actually a very good one. I believe that was elemental mastery based, it had a lot of attack. It was actually a really nice set, and fundamentally that set went into building this Noblesse Oblige set that I used on her for a very long time. And these are the exact, I've had these pieces for a very long time, as I said. I should rank them all up more than this, but we'll get there hopefully in 12 months time or so. You know, all these will probably be at 20. But energy recharge, crit damage, elemental mastery, attack, HP, energy recharge, HP. This wouldn't necessarily be the best set for, say, Jean, but I had it and it's worked really well on her, so I've just kept it. We've got another attack piece, we've got an emo damage piece, and we've got another attack piece. And that, as I said, this is the exact set that I had on my Sayu, and it worked really, really well at the beginning, just 2 pieces of attack. And that was mainly just for her kit to do damage, and I used her with a team with Yan Fei. But obviously coming up, she's now with Raiden, and the 2 teams that I use Sayu with now is both of my Raiden teams. They're not really something that I would use in the Abyss, but none of my videos are kind of based like that. They're more for, like, say, domains, the artifact domains or the talent domains, and generally just exploring the overworld for something you might need to counter. The team I'm going to demonstrate first, I'm going to show 2 teams. Actually, this is one of my most powerful teams in the game, so it's probably a little bit broken in that respect, and I initially used Fischl instead of Kujo Sara, but I'll show our artifacts. Now, the weapons is an interesting one. I had her with a sacrificial greatsword for a very long time, and I think it suits her very nicely when it gets this purple. And that's still probably, out of the swords I've got, that's still actually probably the best one to give her. It can instantly do the cooldown, and you can just start doing another roll again. Otherwise, I think it can take like 9 seconds to do the roll. And my Sayu's got C3 constellations, but to be honest, for most of the game, I've had her with C0. I didn't get C1 and C2 and C3 until kind of fairly recently. Probably her last banner, which was a couple of months ago. And I've still found her a lot of fun. As I said, she's a fun character. Probably not the most powerful character, but fun. And I think for traveling around, she's been pretty ideal. But I had her with this sword, and this works very well. And then I did the quest to unlock the Claymore, and I think that actually looks fantastic on her. But the problem I had is, after using this Claymore and going to this, these weapons are very good for the, say, the base attack and for, say, generating energy. They're all kind of similar of how they generate energy. But the problem I had with it is how I was now used to muscle memory wise for me to using her is I would use her skill when I bring her into rotation, and then if I've got the burst, I'll pop her burst for the healing. The problem that combination brought with this was that if you use her skill, it takes energy away, you lose your burst for a few seconds, and then you get it back. And it kind of leaves this sort of blank time in between where you can then swap off and do another rotation, but you needed the healing. It was just a bit, it was messing me up personally, because you're doing your skill and losing your burst temporarily. If you've got both of her and this sword, you can get used to that play style. It's fine. She still hits hard. She still works well with it, and obviously it looks really good on her. But yeah, that actually did fundamentally annoy me. And then back on, I think Nilu's banner and Sino's banner, they released these these Sumeru weapons, which are new. And at the time, I got 2 of these. And I thought it was a big F, because I've still got like the Rain Slasher, which I think is okay for her, but it's a bit of a controversial one, because you're kind of limited by what you're affecting by on here. The Sacrificial, if you got, it's the way to go. Or even this Favonius is a good one. And I think I initially had it at the very beginning with a prototype, because I was using her a bit more as a DPS, and you can do that early on in the game in the early AR ranks, but this is obviously world level 8 AR. I'm AR 56. And as for this weapon, so I had it and I slept on it for ages. The following effect will trigger every 10 seconds. The equipping character will gain 30% of their elemental mastery as attack bonus for 12 seconds, with nearby party members gaining 30% of this buff for the same duration. Multiple instances of this weapon can allow this buff to stack. This effect will trigger even if the character is not on the field. So you could even argue with that, you would say a Gilded Dreams EM set may be the ultimate powerhouse for her with this sword potentially, by the sounds of things there, but I haven't it's hard enough to farm those pieces anyway with the resin and things. But anyway, I built this weapon for her recently and been having a lot of fun. This is, I think, her weapon. I'm not too sure. There might be an upcoming Sumeru character this might be for, maybe Dory, but I basically decided to do a little bit of research, and I could find a few bits of people talking about this weapon for her. If you're lucky enough to get it, awesome. I don't know how else you can get it now. I wished on that weapon banner because I was initially going for Sino's weapon, but we missed everything, and I ended up getting like 2 of these and something else. As for artifacts, I ended up farming quite late into the game the domain of the Maiden set and this VV set. I don't know how you say it. I'm not going to embarrass myself. And I actually ended up getting quite good luck out of it, I think, to be honest, because I don't think I've never really farmed this domain, even when I had it at the beginning. I've only ended up putting a bit of resin into it, and I've actually got some nice pieces. So, was that, which one's, yeah, 24% crit damage. It's probably my nicest piece for crit damage, and it's on her flower there. 70% crit damage. I don't know why she hasn't got much crit rate here. HP or energy recharge, because we've got the EM weapon now. I've had to give her an energy recharge piece just to keep up with it. And obviously got a bit of crit rate HP. I think she scales on HP, so the more you can have on that does the better, but she does really good healing anyway. Ideally, if you have constellations, obviously that's not a great piece, and that's alright. It's got a purple piece still here. Ideally, constellations obviously help a lot. I believe it's her C1 that really changes her style. So her ult will ignore the HP limits and can attack while healing. That's pretty clutch. I might have had that, I say, a few months after I got her, and it's really nice. And all her talents are level 6, and this one's obviously 9 because of the constellation, but I could go higher. So probably talked a little bit too much on that than I wanted to, but I think it's a little bit misunderstood. I think you could use, so I'm going to roll in here and go into the wet and make this guy wet. We haven't hit Raiden or anything, but she's just an all-round fun exploring character, great for the overworld and traveling around. And I find her healing very reasonable. And I always use this swirl attack, so I'm just going to play as I play. I'm not going to try and lean into her more than I normally would, because that probably won't work. I did actually go to pop my ult. Anyone that knows my account knows it's not that strong. I probably will make it a lot stronger, but... So Raiden took a chunk of health. Whenever I talk in these, it's never very good. I think there should be the group over here. If not, there's another route I'll go on, and I'll demonstrate another team on that route. And they're both going to be premium. I can't really change them around. My Yanfei team was like Sayu, Yanfei, Dana, and Beidou, and that team practically carried my game all the way to like AR 55, and then
there is no escape.
I very quickly sort of gained a few 5-star weapons and a few more 5 stars. I got very lucky on the weapon banner recently, and that's fundamentally that sort of changed my account for the better, but I was using a lot of 4 stars for a big part. Mona and Raiden, I got those similar time. They completely changed my account. That was good fun. Yeah, these guys are here. No, we could have hit Raiden again. Could have something. So we're not doing too much damage until we're really swirling. Which we can do. And the thing is, I've never really used her like this. I just use her for a kick to do some good swirls, which I believe is an emo damage.
Illusion shattered.
And just use that in the mix of rotations. It also generates good energy as well, so I've never had any problems with her like burst or anything with this. And I was very happy generally overall how this ended up working out for me. Pretty straightforward. I'm not sure how friendly she is on mobile. That could be a lot of it. She's probably not too fun. I imagine controller would be nice to control. But on mobile, that could be a bit tricky.
Shine down. Now you shall perish.
The light here, and sometimes you can hang around with her just to make sure she gets full HP. And
Shadows of fate. Fate is
so
upon
I'm
you.
not really paying attention to my rotations too much. She's just a great sort of come in. If you need to roll around and swirl, like say with this water, it's great. Or if you just want to swirl, you just put down, say, Mona's skill. And then you've got Sarah, and you're going to do that, and then you can roll into it all and start spreading that round. It's a few combinations you can do. I'm going to my other team. And then we'll go and demonstrate on some more Samurai, which is this team. You got Yakuyoya and Raiden again. These are the main two teams I have are in now that I still really enjoy. And probably this team right here is my favourite team in the game, for sure. For sure. Probably don't use it as much now because I've been doing a lot of testing with other stuff. But this is definitely one of my favourite teams. And you could argue because he was my first pulled character why I pulled and built this sort of team the way it is, really.
Another test subject.
Take flight.
You could argue it's a bit of a troll team. So right here, it's a bit of a difficult place. They have thankfully improved her rolling. Same as with Ayaka. Earlier in the year, her rolling ability wasn't very good. It would sometimes get stuck on really random objects, but overall it seems generally a lot better than it was. These guys. And I get it, this team isn't really got many reactions going on for it. Particularly like really accurate stuff.
Have a little taste.
I'll normally try and dodge a bit more here.
Here come the fireworks.
Stop.
Picked the wrong test subject.
If I was to use a team for a domain, generally this would probably be the main one, unless I'll have to specifically use something else.
It's my lucky day.
That tingle?
I'm out of here. Fire hazard.
I haven't popped Raiden, but it's okay.
Can't catch me. My apologies. Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal.
That tingle? I got killed. Picked the wrong test subject.
It's kind of more of a brute force team, that's for sure. But I think, as I say, this is what I use with Sayu. I think it's what her sort of best use is scenario. Of course, unless there's another healer there to use.
Take flight. Stop for a swirl. Enslaved.
I always get annoyed these guys don't freeze. When they're in a Pacific state, they don't freeze. It's really annoying.
Ninjutsu! My apologies!
You win.
Been hit more by like random electro hits than anything else on this entire thing.
Illusion shattered!
Ah, we've already got water. Probably in this case, it's probably not too bad. So in situations like that where we could quite apply a few elements of Sayu there, you can see she did a majority of the damage there. Swirling all of that. Oh, our favourite mage. So annoying.
Whirling snow! Kamisato! Zumetsu! Unthinkable! Shine down! Torn to oblivion! Take flight! Time for a light show!
But now they've both got no shields, we can go back into Sayu again and get stuck on a rock, but
And away I go!
yeah, makes clearing a lot of this sort of stuff up fairly easy once you're used to how and when to use her, I suppose, which isn't too difficult. To be honest, because we're Hydra.
There is no escape!
Can we go and visit the waters?
My apologies. Come on out. Embrace the ice. Illusion shattered. Now you shall perish. Got a dash. Whirling snow. Here come the fireworks. My apologies.
Pretty much it's self-explanatory, to be honest. I think if you're still watching, thank you very much. If this helps you, please leave a like. It helps my channel. We'll do some cleaning up here, but I don't know. I just want to do a quick video on Sayu. She's, let's say, one of the first characters I pulled. Had a lot of fun with her. I don't use her as much now as I used to.
Whirling snow.
Purely because a lot of these characters here, apart from say Yui Mia, is newer to me. They're all maxed out, so in terms of like friendships, so I've just been trying to work on working on say like newer characters. This is like a solid team that I'll still come back to every now and then, and I wouldn't break it up. It's some really good fun team for me. So thank you very much for watching. I shall see you in the next video. Bye.